This video is for sure going on the second channel because I have the fan on in the background and I don't care, and I just wanted to make this video as a sort of mini rant. It's like midnight right now too. I have work in the morning, but like I don't care. This is bothering me so much, and it's been like a consistent problem. I recently made the decision to more or less private the original Minecraft's progression is awful video because it's just pissing me off so much that people will still go to that video, watch it, and then argue with me in the comments about it, or argue with me in the video about it. And it's like, I changed the thumbnail to say that this is a bad video. I made a pinned comment, which you have to fucking, like, you can't not see it. Either you're scrolling past it in the comment section on mobile, or like, well, I guess technically maybe not on mobile, you might be able to get away with it on mobile, but like on desktop for sure, you could 100%, you can 100%, you have to see that comment there, where I basically say I don't agree with any of the points in the video, but I am just tired of people writing little like mini essays about why the video is wrong. And it's like the same points. I've heard it from like a million people, and I disagree with them most of the time about why my video was wrong. I don't think that any of the solutions I gave were wrong. A lot of people still think I'm comparing Terraria to Minecraft, which is really annoying. But like, I do think that some of my the things that I pointed out that I didn't like with Minecraft were a little bit either not well thought out or just like downright silly and just bad. For example, I think I said at one point that Minecraft is kind of boring, which is like, that's on me, dude. If Minecraft is boring, you're kind of a boring person. And that's something I directly say in part 2. I call out my old self. I was like, yeah, I was wrong there. And it seems like even though I pinned part 2 and I said that I didn't agree with all the points, I still see tons of comments all the time about people like, here's why you're wrong, and it's like a fucking mini essay. And I was just like, I can't keep arguing with these people, and I don't respond to them like 99% of the time. And honestly, when they're like super long, I'm not gonna read all that. Not gonna lie, I don't give a shit. But it seems like I really can't get away from that video. So rather than just fully private it, I wanted to, you know, maybe keep it up for a few people who actually care and people who are big fans of the channel. So it's members only. For $3 a month, you can, on the main channel at least, not this one, you can watch that video again if you'd really like to. But honestly, good money opportunity. It can make a lot of money. You know, if you guys want to see that, just, you know, I just shamelessly want money. But also, I just didn't want to get rid of it completely. I would normally say that like growth and visibility being public is really important. It's important to see like yourself grow and that other people can see yourself grow and change. But like to that extent where people are still making the same points over and over and over again, and they're not really changing anything, they don't read the pinned comment, they don't watch part 2, it's just not worth it anymore. And likewise, I changed the title on part 2 to say that Minecraft's progression isn't awful, we are, which I think is actually a better title given the message of that video is that I was wrong in the first one. But I named it part 2 to try to clickbait people who watched the first one and disagreed with it into watching the second, so I could rage watch. But that one didn't really work out, and so I never changed it just because I didn't really think to do it. But now that I'm here thinking about this, I was like, okay, this is actually just a much better title, and I think it's more fitting for this video. So less clickbaity, more accurate, but also I needed to get rid of the part 2 because it doesn't make sense anymore. So you could still watch that video, the part 2, because I think it's a far better video. There are still maybe a couple little things in that video that I don't necessarily agree with anymore. That being maybe what I said about ocean monuments. Well, I do think ocean monuments are like kind of dumb, and for like what you get out of it, like if you don't like Prismarine, you pretty much have no reason to go to one, which is fine, I guess. There's just no real incentive to do it. Although I feel like most structures in Minecraft succeed when there is something for all players, right? But, you know, it's fine if it's not. I was wrong about that. Prismarine is good enough. It's a game that is primarily about building or making your own experiences. So if you want to just have primarily building stuff in a structure, that's perfectly fine. That's totally fine. Not every structure has to have something for every player, you know? That is probably the only point that I made that is wrong. Although I do think there is something to be said about games that balance challenge with reward, and I think the challenge of an ocean monument, that being how difficult it is to go through one, for me personally, and I feel like this is true for a lot of people, getting Prismarine and some sponge out of that isn't really like a fair reward because it's just kind of annoying to go through. It's a fun challenge if you're like if you really do it in a particular way, but otherwise it's just kind of annoying, and it's like the only way to get Prismarine in a reasonable fashion. So I feel like for some people it works, although I feel like for a lot of people they just kind of avoid it because going through the hassle of doing it is not worth the building blocks. But that's just, that's my opinion, and I think that we should be a little more open to other people's opinions. And I don't know if I made that clear in that video, but like, that's all my opinion. All this stuff is my opinion. But this kind of like, I've seen people use a GIF or a GIF of that original progression video where they show like the title of it, and then they show the first frame is from Terraria, or me talking about Terraria, which is like, ha ha ha, get baited, you fucking idiots. Because that's what I did. I opened that video with Terraria because I knew that people would be pissed about it, and it worked flawlessly. Now, I didn't expect people to make GIFs out of it, or GIFs, and make tweets about those GIFs or GIFs. It's pronounced GIF, I guess. That's what the creator says, but fuck the creator. If God came down and said his name was pronounced Jod, I'd tell him to go kill himself, honestly. Anyway, but like, I didn't expect that to become a thing. I was like, oh no, people are going to think that this is a serious point. People aren't going to actually understand that this is kind of bait. I do think Terraria has a really good progression. A lot of people in that tweet that I saw, and a lot of people in the comment section were telling me about how bad Terraria's progression is, and like how you need a wiki to do it. It's like, that's not true. You don't need a wiki to do Terraria's progression. Like, you could argue that Minecraft's Terraria also needs a wiki. Minecraft's progression also needs a wiki. Neither of them do, really. You can kind of get through it. Minecraft may be less so, honestly, because Terraria has the guide, which can tell you how to literally craft anything. Like, you just literally do anything with it. Minecraft has the recipe book, but like, I don't know, how the fuck are you supposed to figure out you need to go to the end, kill in blazes, and then find a stronghold? Like, how are you supposed to figure that out? There's not much of any real like indication of where to go or like what to do. But maybe that works for Minecraft because it's mostly a building game. Point is, it's just I'm really tired of seeing that video get tossed around as if it's like one of the worst videos ever. Especially when I already disagree with it. Like, that, God, it's just annoying. I hope that we can move on from this video because, God damn it, I don't want it anymore. I don't want people to talk about it anymore. I understand that people will be people, and people will probably try to bait me into debates about it in the future, but that's okay. I mean, they can do what they want. But I personally, fuck, man. I don't want to talk about Minecraft's progression. Not that there is much of one anyway. I guess final moral of the story is, if someone changes the thumbnail of a video to say that the video is bad, and then make a pinned comment saying they disagree with that video, maybe do some reading comprehension and try to figure out what that means. Just maybe try. And if you figure out what that means, maybe don't write that comment you're making. It might not be the wisest comment to make. That being said, some of the responses to the video are really thoughtful. Some of them are really good. And it was actually some of those comments that ended up changing my mind about that progression video. Reading some of those comments and hearing other people's opinions kind of changed my mind on it, where I could recognize where I had kind of fallen short with that progression video. And that's ultimately what led me to making part 2. But yeah, just don't make silly comments without reading the signs on the wall that are very obvious. Anyway, also subscribe to this channel because I think I'll be uploading here a little bit more frequently as like my unscripted rants. So if you want to see unscripted rants from me along with random gameplay in the background, subscribe to this channel. Also, we'll have the fan in the background. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Where are my audio aficionados in there? Listen to the fan. Beautiful. Anyway, goodbye.